For over a decade, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been the biggest movie star on the planet by playing one character, basically himself. You know the look, the confident smile, the raised eyebrow, the unstoppable hero. It's definitely a formula, but it is one that has cashed in billions of dollars. But what if that winning formula is also a cage? This story is about a role that could finally force him to change. It's a role so demanding and physically and emotionally that it might just shatter the person that we all know and reveal, hopefully, the actor who's been hiding underneath. This is a story of how the troubled life of fighter Mark Kerr is really pushing Dwayne Johnson to become something that he's never really been before, a true character actor. To understand where Dwayne Johnson might be going, you kind of have to understand where he's been. After he jumped from the world of WWE, Hollywood didn't really quite know what to do with him. Early roles in films like Scorpion King and Be Cool felt like they were trying to find a box for his unique mix of muscle and charm. And it wasn't really until the Fast and Furious franchise, maybe Walking Tall on the Rundown, but it was when he found himself as Luke Hobbs. That's when he was really able to mold his set. As Luke Hobbs, he wasn't just really a character, but he became a whole brand, an unshakable superhuman lawman who could redirect the torpedo with his bare hands, on top of trading insults with Vin Diesel without breaking a damn sweat. This character that he was, this charismatic and physically dominant and always righteous hero, kind of became his blueprint. And then we saw it again in Jumanji, where he played this nerdy teenager in the body of a perfect adventurer. We saw it in San Andreas, where he saved his family from a world-ending earthquake. And then we saw it in Black Adam, a project that he personally championed for years, only really to deliver us a fun movie, but just another version of the same guy. And this really wasn't just acting. I mean, it was brand management. It's famously reported that Johnson has clauses in his contract stipulating that he can't be seen losing a fight on screen. And that's really a testament to how carefully this invincible persona that he created for himself is guarded. And let's keep it a buck, man. I mean, this formula worked. It made him the highest paid actor in the world, and it built a global fan base that at very least loves his reliability. You go to a Dwayne Johnson movie knowing exactly what you're gonna get. But for critics and a growing number of fans, that reliability is starting to feel a little bit like a limitation. The conversation started to shift. The question was no longer what's his next movie, but will he ever play someone other than The Rock? His brand at that point became both his greatest asset and creatively a gilded cage. For years, the formula has been a box office guarantee. But what happens when it's time to break it? That's when we get into the smashing machine. Enter Benny Safdie. As one half of the Safdie brothers, he's the director behind some of the most anxiety-inducing and relentlessly gritty films of like the last decade. Things like Good Time and Uncut Gems. His style is really the polar opposite of a glossy Hollywood blockbuster. Safdie's filmmaking is raw, it's observational, and sometimes it could be uncomfortably realistic. And it was Benny who, I guess he watched the 2002 HBO documentary on Mark Kerr, and he became fascinated with the story of this man who was the complete opposite of The Rock's on-screen persona. And let me tell you, man, Mark Kerr was a legend in this violent early days of MMA. He was nicknamed the Smashing Machine. He was a two-time UFC tournament champion and a Pride FC competitor. He was an absolute force in the ring. Did y'all know that he made a dude submit by sticking his chin in the dude's eye socket? Drove that damn chin right into bro's eye socket, bro. But his story isn't just one simple triumphant victory. The film that we're going to be getting seems to be focused more on the intense period of his life between 97 and 2000, a time really that wasn't just defined by his dominance, but by this crippling addiction that he had to painkillers that were prescribed to help him endure the sport's brutal nature. This is a story about the hollow reality of winning. Kerr's life was a cycle of extreme violence in the ring, followed by a desperate search for opioids to numb the pain. In 99, he survived a near fatal overdose. His relationships, especially with his wife Dawn Staples, were volatile and strained by this pressure of his career and his substance abuse. Kerr was a man whose immense physical strength masked this really deep vulnerability. He was a gentle giant outside of the ring who was systematically destroying himself. Crazy thing is, this isn't just a role that The Rock can conquer with just a wink and a smile. There's no heroic speeches or impossible feats of strength that can save the day. Mark Kerr's story is one of pain, addiction, and the slow grinding toll of a brutal profession. It's a character defined by his losses just as much as his wins. And it's a part that demands an actor be broken, vulnerable and tragically uncomfortably human. Everything that The Rock's brand seemingly was built to resist. Now, this transformation, this shattering of the persona. For years, The Rock said that he wanted to have a role that would truly challenge him, a chance to really disappear into the part and feel nervous again as an actor. Now, I don't know, but it seems that he got his wish with the Smash Machine. The transformation started physically. Director Benny Safdie reportedly asked The Rock to bulk up. Imagine asking The Rock to bulk up, but he did this because Mark Kerr was a massive, huge guy and he wanted him to be able to match his frame. But even that, it was more than just gaining muscle. It was about remaking his famous face. Using these subtle prosthetics, The Rock's familiar features got crazily altered. I remember seeing that very first trailer and he looked unrecognizable. Emily Blunt even said that the first time that she saw him in full makeup, that the transformation gave her goosebumps. But I think the deeper change was internal. To play Mark Kerr, The Rock had to really dismantle his own persona, put that ego a little bit to the side. His booming voice was replaced with Kerr's soft-spoken and gentle way of talking. The trademark charisma that he had was flipped, showing a man who was more childlike and sensitive one moment, worrying about his sensitive tummy, and then exploding with frightening frustration the next.
Why?
Why? Because my tummy. You know what that would do to my tummy. I would get sick everywhere.
The Rock even himself has said that the role changed his life, allowing him to really tap into his own past traumas to kind of connect with Kerr's journey. And the results, I mean, according to the early festival reactions, are staggering. The film's premiere at the Venice Film Festival was met with a 15-minute standing ovation that, you can see in videos had The Rock crying. Even critics who often dismissed his acting were stunned by it. Some reviews even called his performance one of immense pathos, intensity, and depth, predicting that it will earn him some award recognition. One outlet even wrote that Johnson drops The Rock from his identity in all senses to reveal a heartfelt core. Now, many noted that the man famous for refusing to lose on screen was now playing a character defined by his fragility, and the result ended up being a raw and vulnerable and utterly compelling performance. Safdie's raw documentary-like style grounds that performance, refusing to offer the heroic knockouts or triumphant wins typically of sports movies, and focus instead on the brutal emotional reality of Kerr's life. Now, the critics are buzzing after this film festival circuit, but the real question is, will the audience accept this new version of Dwayne Johnson? Do you think that this role will finally earn him some critical acclaim, maybe even getting him an Oscar nomination? I don't know. I might be a little out there, but let me know what you think in the comments. This moment for The Rock feels familiar because we've seen it before. Think of Matthew McConaughey, who went from being the face of rom-coms to an Oscar winner with his McConaissance. Or even Adam Sandler, who shocked everyone with his intense dramatic turn in Uncut Gems, which is a film that's also connected to Benny Safdie. These actors, they broke free from the comfortable boxes that either Hollywood or they themselves put themselves in by taking these huge risks on more dark and complex material. The Smash Machine looks to be The Rock's Dallas Buyers Club or his Uncut Gems. By stepping into the world of a gritty A24 biopic, I think that The Rock is making a clear statement. He's blending his undeniable star power with the credibility of an auteur director and really a challenging true story. He's using this brand that he built to take this creative leap that he maybe couldn't have made a decade ago. It's a move that looks really to redefine his entire career, proving that he's not just a movie star, but he's a serious actor, hopefully. Now, the risk, of course, is whether his massive and global audience will follow him into this uncomfortable place. Will the fans who love him for playing these unstoppable heroes embrace a film where he is a fallen and deeply flawed man? The film's incredible reception at the Venice Film Festival, where Safdie won the Best Director prize, it's a powerful early sign, but either way, the true test is going to come when it hits theaters October 3rd. For 2 decades, Dwayne Johnson has built an empire on being The Rock. That's how I knew him. That's how most people knew him. It was a persona of unbreakable strength, endless charisma, and guaranteed victory. But with the Smash Machine, he's taken a sledgehammer really to that foundation. He's choosing vulnerability over invincibility, complexity over simplicity, and maybe for the first time, art over pure commerce. Now, whether the Smash Machine becomes a box office hit or an award season favorite is almost beside the point. This film represents a pivotal moment, a deliberate step away from the brand that he perfected, and a leap toward the actor that he could still become. For the first time, and I think maybe a long time, we don't know what to expect from him. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's kind of the most exciting part of it all. But that is all I really got today as far as the hype for the Smashing Machine goes. I'm really excited for this movie. I think that is going to be a good one. 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, which does mean something. I'm hoping that it ends up being a good one, but what did you think? Do you plan to go see it, or you kind of tuned out of this one? Let me know down in the comments. As always, if you stayed until the end of this video, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Please make sure you hit that like button so that we could push this video out to more people. Also, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any future content that comes out. But y'all stay geeked, man. I'm out, and be smooth.